Yes. I love you, Berkeley. Are you ready for the man you came to see? I love this guy so much. He's my best friend. I know that the tour is called from scratch, but this is the best he's ever been. Ladies and gentlemen, Berkeley, John Mulaney.
It's me from before. How about a hand for Seton Smith and Dan Levy, everybody? Oh man, I feel like I'm playing soccer again at age 10 because it's a bunch of bundled up adults staring at me. And I ate way too many Starbursts before this. Oh man, Berkeley, this is very interesting. Anytime you feel like coming tonight, show up, you know? I don't know if people are going to the bathroom or this is still welcome. No, don't be sorry. I'm sure it's somehow my fault. It's fine. Look at this beautiful, I love to play coliseums built by megalomaniac assholes. I once took a tour of San Simeon, and at the end, they had to be really nice about William Randolph Hearst the whole time. But at the end, the tour guide went, "Now, Mr. Hearst had a complicated legacy." And everyone burst out laughing. Ha ha ha. Fuck him in his home. Listen, I don't know why I'm starting this way. The sun's gonna go down soon, and it'll get even colder. That'll be fun. I don't know why I decided to dress like a riverboat captain on the coldest night of the year. You all look like mannequins for Carhartt or something. Hey, if you've ever seen me do stand-up before, my name's John Mulaney, by the way. If you've ever seen me do stand-up, thanks. Okay, I might seem like I move a little slower in my older age. I'm 39 now, and I know when I was a younger man, I'd come out on stage and I'd be like, "Hey, ba 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 ba," and I wonder what caused that. Well, them days are over. Oh, thanks. Also, if you've ever seen me before, you know that I don't normally talk about current events or politics or anything like that. But before we get started, I just want to say that fucking Russia does not get to be a country anymore. Russia, I'm not trying to minimize or joke about what's happening over there now, but like this is, I'm so sick of Russia, personally. For decades. Has there ever been a day when you don't have to hear about Russia? Every goddamn day we have to hear about them. When I was a boy, everyone was worried about Russia too. Back then, Russia was called the USSR, and that stood for the United Soviet Russia. And the R stood for Russia, I'll tell you that much. And everyone was like, they're an evil empire and our worst enemy. And then we beat them in hockey, and they collapsed 16 months later. Why are they even our rival? I don't mean to sound, I'm not trying to sound patriotic, by the way. I just don't get why they're our rival. It started in the 1950s, I think. We had a space race. We had an outer space contest. And it was really neck and neck. Here was the space race. Russia went first. They shot a dog into space. It's the most Russian thing that's ever happened. And then we were like, what? You shot a dog into space? So then to get even with them, we shot like 7 men into space. And then we shot 7 more men. Then we landed on the moon, then we planted our flag on the moon, and then we drove golf carts around on the moon, and then we're just dunking on the moon over and over. And then to get even with us for that, Russia did nothing, because they had no moves. They only had the dog, which makes me think that the dog thing wasn't even directed at us. Like they were just doing their own side project. They were like, how high do you think we can shoot dog? And we were like, fucking what? Huh? What? You step to us? You trying to start a space race? They're like, no, we just want to see dog fly through the night sky. The dog lived, by the way. I should have said that at the beginning. The dog lived. I doubt it ever went in its crate again, willingly though. Jesus. Fool me once. So don't be afraid. I know they try to make everything with Russia seem like it's going to spill over here. Oh, Vladimir Putin's going to declare cyber war on us. Vladimir Putin's not going to do shit. What do you think he's going to do? Take over the United States? I don't like to quote Beauty and the Beast, but be our guest. Come, try to run Ohio for a day. If Vladimir Putin walked into a Sephora, he'd have a panic attack. Real quick, I want to congratulate all of you on your podcasts. I assume you all have podcasts. Some people are worried about long COVID. I'm very worried about long podcasts. They're 3 hours now. I think everyone in America has now been interviewed for over 3 hours. It's an exciting time. I listen to podcasts every morning. I hate them. But I do it. I've had a lot of bad habits in my life. This may be the worst one. You ever listen to those podcasts where some white dipshit in his early 30s is going to try to solve a murder from 50 years ago? They're like, hi, I'm Josh Joshinson. I first became aware of this story when I read an article about it that I will plagiarize over the next 8 episodes. At the end of these 8 episodes, I will either solve this murder, or I totally won't have. And I'll have just stirred up a lot of trauma for a lot of elderly people in a rural part of America that I have never been to before, and will never go to again. They always walk you through every part, like, I decided to do more research. Yeah, just do it and tell us. I needed to look further. Yeah. And then they decide, they're like, I decided to go down to Alabama and ask questions. Yeah, you do that. They're gonna line up for you. Some jerk off from Brooklyn in an ASOS hoodie. They're gonna line up to spill their secrets. And then you hear that, then you have to like meet their producer. They're like, I went down with my producer, Noel. Hi, I'm Noel. Fuck, now we gotta know this guy. You hear them driving around. The courthouse is right up here. Yeah. Two betas who dreamed of working at Grantland trying to make a left in a rented Kia Sorento. I was way angrier than I meant to be. I don't know what's happening. All right, here's what I think. I'm a little nervous because it's my favorite. I love doing comedy in Berkeley and San Francisco. The Punchline in San Francisco was the first club I ever headlined, so it's very exciting to be back. To be an hour from there. I guess we're not really there. Right. You get it. You know you're close to San Francisco and you can deal with me equating this to them, okay? You can handle that. Anyway, you're a whole separate town. I know. Don't worry. And I bet Oakland's its own place too. I bet you all have your own little mayors. I mean, listen, I didn't mean to start on such a downer, but I've had a challenging couple years. You've all had a challenging couple years. I thought it'd be kind of phony to start way too upbeat. To come out and be like, ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba. Hey, Berkeley, it's time to laugh. Raise up your smiles, but lower those masks. You know what I mean. We all quarantined. We all went to rehab and we all got divorced, and now our reputation is different. No one knows what to think. Hey, yeah. All the kids like Bo Burnham more because he's currently less problematic. Likability is a jail. Okay, so, thanks. His thing was, Dr. Michael he liked guys to take their shirts off in his apartment. That was his thing. You're all uncomfortable now, but I'm way over it. It's fine. Also, if you think this story ends with me being like, and I said absolutely not, you're about to be so disappointed. So I didn't give a shit. We had this little charade. I'd roll up my t-shirt sleeve. He'd be like, I'm gonna need the whole shirt off. Be like 30 Klonopin, 2 refills. And then the sexual harassment would just kind of stop. So maybe that was his whole fetish, was just getting guys to take their shirts off. Or maybe there was something about me with my shirt off that stops sexual harassment. It's a nice story, it's a nice story. It has 2 morals, that story. 1, now you know that. You didn't know it before. The other moral is this. You should get vaccinated. You should get vaccinated, right? But anytime you hear someone be like, trust doctors. When you hear trust doctors, just remember, somewhere in a kitchenette sits Dr. Michael. And if he's so trustworthy, why some of you have this in here? In elementary school, like in grade school, were you ever in school and someone in your class would come to school that day and like their grandparent had died and like they would get so much attention? You know, the teacher would be like, Aaron's grandpa passed away. He'd be like, that's right. And I'll be like, oh, Aaron. And all the girls would hug him and get to hug everybody. People would be nice to him. He was like, King, are you good? And he'd be like, can I sit in the beanbag chair during reading time? He'd be like, of course, you poor fuck, you sit. Forget that there's a laminated construction paper list of whose day it is to sit in the beanbag chair, and that we're all very patient each month for our day, and that the very existence of the beanbag chair is to teach us patience. Forget that. You go ahead and take it. Then he comes to school a couple days later in a suit. The teacher's like, Aaron has to leave early today. He's like, I sure do. To leave early in a suit. A dream. Did you ever see how much attention that kid was getting? And did you ever, like me, hope or maybe even pray please kill one of my grandparents so I could get attention too? I did do that. And many of you did too. And I know you did because you started laughing from the very beginning of the joke. If you did, don't feel too weird. I agree, it's a super dark thought. It's not fun, but you were a little kid. Also, you were a little kid. So you probably still had like 4 grandparents. This is a lot of grandparents. This is too many? I don't know, I'm just asking. Look, I'm not saying you pray to kill one of the important ones. You don't want to kill your mom's mom, that's too special of a relationship. You don't want to kill your dad's dad, because then your dad gets even weirder. Hey, kids, do you think your dad's weird now? Wait for his dad to die. Then he goes on a whole quest. He gets more religious. He wants to take more family pictures, but gets angrier during them. Can we get one photo where we all look nice? You're like, I don't think this motherfucker's doing too well. So you don't want to kill one of the important ones. But you could kill one of the unimportant ones. You know who. You. You could kill your dad's mom. Who even knew your dad had a mom? It doesn't seem like she did a very good job. Ask your mom if she thinks your dad's mom did a good job and deserves to live. Of course she doesn't. She's an unpleasant older lady. She's never done nothing for anyone. But she could now. She could die between September and May. Real talk, Berkeley? When I was in elementary school, my grandma died over the summer! You can't show up to school on Labor Day and talk about, we lost our grandma on July 17th. You should be over it by now. Get out of the beanbag chair. Plus, she's lived a full life. She's 67. That's a joke. It's a joke. That joke is in the 1980s. That's how old grandparents were when they died. They were 67. And it's no longer when people die. My parents are now 77. They're not even old. They have like brown hair and they go on biking trips and shit. I'm like, when are you two gonna be elderly and lay in a bed with your in-laws pressing feet together? When is that gonna happen? When are you gonna become one big pajama and press feet? My dad's dad, my grandfather, my dad's dad was born in 1902. He was old when he had kids. And in 2020, when I was going through a lot of stuff, I was on the phone with my dad. My dad said, I just wish Grandpa were here. And I said, Dad, if Grandpa were here, he would be 118 years old. And I highly doubt he would have great advice on how to navigate bad publicity. Something tells me that a dairy farmer from East Troy, Wisconsin, who was too old to fight in World War II, might not be able to help me with social media backlash. I know we're in Berkeley. If we were out to dinner, I'd be like, believe science. Like, how about we listen to the scientists? I'd say all the good sounding fucking liberal things that we have to say, right? Guess what? I don't care about all of science. I don't care about all of the genre. From magnets to ducks. Stupid ass subject. Never have chosen it in Trivial Pursuit. Never gone near Brown. I'd rather pick sports and leisure, and I don't know shit about sports and leisure. Science class as a kid was boring and hard, so I hated it. You know, you'd walk into class and the science teacher would be like, today we're gonna make a battery out of a potato. You'd be like, what? You'd be like, take some wires and a potato, and you'd sit there for 45 minutes with your lab partner stabbing a potato. You go, they don't work. And she go, none of them work. Doesn't work. Okay, let's do our lab method hypothesis. You can make a battery out of a potato. Conclusion, no you can't, not at all. Okay, let's put them up on the windowsill. That was the end of every science project in my school. We put it on the windowsill. Then we'd come in a couple days later. We'd be like, where are science projects? The teacher would be like, the janitor didn't know. He threw all of that away. The janitor knew. Janitors hate science projects. I don't know why. They always grab the biggest garbage can they can, and they're like, fuck this volcano, fuck this volcano, fuck this volcano. So now I'm older, and I don't care about science at all. Like all these people going to outer space. Stop that. It's none of your business. Like, I know that's an ignorant attitude, but you know what I mean? It's like, you're not invited up there. But we wonder about the kids, so wonder about it. I wonder about a lot of things. And what are everyone's priorities right now? We need to go to Mars. Get Florida under control. And I'll say this directly to the scientific community, okay? There's no way the dinosaurs are put together correctly. I'm not trying to start some culture war, but you're telling me you found a pile of bones with no instructions and you nailed it? That'd be like if Wayfair.com delivered a credenza in 150 pieces and you had to dump it out in a dirt pit. Now you gotta brush off each individual credenza piece. Okay, this takes months. Now you have a pile of credenza pieces. You go, can I see the instructions? There are no instructions. Well, can I see what another credenza looks like? No, they all died 8 billion years ago. They just gave a guy a pile of dinosaur bones and were like, figure it out. And he was like, but the museum opens in half an hour. Oh, shit. Okay, this could be the head, maybe. This might be tail. This could be tail. Put it together in a hurry, and you look in the box, and there's still 2 little bones left. Like, where the hell did these go? Oh, fuck it. The T-Rex had little arms. He had tiny little arms, didn't ya? For a few years. Remember the guy that was president before Biden? Remember? Okay. Remember how we all had to be so good all the time? If you were against him, it was always, we all had to be like, no, that's wrong. It was necessary, but it was very corny after a while. We had to be like, believe science, stop. We became kind of like the kids that run and get the teacher, and they're like, they're standing on the desks. Remember when we all had to root for CNN? Ugh! We're like, how dare he accost Jim Acosta? Ugh. Cheering for the network at the airport. No, it is not fake news, but it is unwatchable television. Constant breaking news. CNN does breaking news the way a little kid runs up to you out of breath to tell you a pointless story. They're long gone. Thank you so much, Berkeley. This was amazing. Thanks for a wonderful night. See you soon. Thanks for being here.